Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Power Automate Desktop Training Tutorial. My name is Vishal Bamblani, and in our session today, we will continue to learn the variable actions provided by Power Automate Desktop. The variable actions that will be covered into the session are merge list, subtract list, and find common list items. Start with our first action, which is merge list. So as the name suggests, it combines two lists into one. It has two properties. First is first list, wherein we have to specify the variable of our first list. And second property is second list, wherein we have to specify the variable of our second list. Let's see how we can combine any two lists using Power Automate Desktop. Under Actions pane, first let's create our first list using Create New List action, drag and drop. Let's give our first list name as list1. Let's add some items to it using add item to list, drag and drop this action. Let's add January under list1. Let's copy paste January. So second item is February. Third item, let's keep it March. Fourth item is April. Now, since we'll be needing two lists, let's create another list. Let me copy paste the section. And let's rename this list as list2. So this would be a second list. Now let's some items here. Drag and drop the section. Let's add April as the first item under list 2. Let me copy paste. Our second item would be May, and third item will be June. Now, to combine these two lists, we have an action merge list, drag and drop, and here let's select first list as list 1 and second list as list 2. Now let's run this flow. The flow execution is complete. Under flow variables, list 1 has January, February, March, April. List 2 has April, May, June. And our output list, it has January, February, March, April, then April, May, and June. So both these lists are combined into a single list under the name of output list. Now, since we have one item April common between these two lists, let's subtract this item from list 1 using subtract list action. So basically, it compares the two lists and creates a new list with the items that are in the first list, but not in the second. So this means it will subtract the items of second list from the first one. It has two properties, first list and second list. So in the first property, we have to specify the variable of the first list. Whereas in the second property, we have to specify the variable of the second list. Let's see how to make use of this action in Power Automate Desktop. Here, let me disable this action. And under Actions pane, let's search for subtract list. Drag and drop this section here. Now, since we have to subtract second list from first, so here list 1 becomes our first list and list 2 becomes our second. We save this action and run this flow. Now under flow variables, as you can see, list 1 has January, February, March, and April. List 2 has April, May, and June. So the subtracted list contains January, February, and March. Now, since April was common,
it has been subtracted from the first list.
Now let's say we have to find the common items between these two lists. So we have an action called find common list items. So basically it compares the two lists and create a new list with the items that are common to both. So it has two properties, first list and second list. So the first property specifies the variables of the first list, and the second property, which is second list. So here we have to specify the variable of the second list. Now let's make use of this action in Power Automate Desktop. Let me disable this action. Under Actions pane, search for Find Common List Items. Drag and drop this action. Here under first list, select list 1. Under second list, select list 2. And the common items will be stored in the list intersection list. Let's save this action and run this flow. So list 1 has January, February, March, and April. And list 2 has April, May, June. So the common item which comes in this particular variable, which is intersection list, comes out to be April. I hope you have understood the section. So this marks the end of our module. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would request you all to subscribe my channel for more videos. Also, I have listed down some suggested videos as well as the ones next in line for your ease. Cheers.